Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and this is Top 5s, the only weekly Top 5 show in snowboarding that you tune into because you need an all-mountain freestyle board. That's right, we're gonna go over the top 5 all-mountain freestyle boards for 2024-2025. The decks that can kind of do a little bit of everything, and most quintessential rad dads are going to pick up. You know, you want one board to rule them all. You might be riding the park, you might be riding the groomer, you might even smash a little bit pow. You're a solid rider, and these are the boards that you need to be looking at. Number 5, the Slash ATV. This board actually would have made the list last year, but it was such a late release to me that I couldn't get on it before we made this list for last season. So this year I was like, I've got to put it on there. It's a little bit stiffer, it's a little bit heavier, it's a little more durable. You got some slight 3D shaping in the nose, so it's going to help funnel the snow out to the side. Pretty much full camber. You're going to get a ton of pop out of this deck. If you want something you can really push it to the max with, this is it. It's still playful where it counts, but you bring a slight precision to it when you ride it. It's a deck that when you're railing a hard carve, you can push that knee into the center camber and really drive it a little bit harder to take it to that next level. On top of the fact, Gigi Ruff rides this. It's Gigi. He's still killing it. So, you know, why don't you go try to kill it like him? Number 4, the Salomon Assassin Pro. Now in the past, the Assassin and Assassin Pro have just kind of been there. They were middle of the road boards. They were solid for what they were, but they didn't really stand out. They didn't have a lot of wow factor to them. They revamped them for this year, and there's a big differentiation between the regular Assassin and the Assassin Pro. And that's why I put the Assassin Pro on this list. It's solid. It's got great snap, good edge hold. It's got a little bit more camber in it, so it changes that edge hold when you drive into it. It felt a little more grippy, especially on icier snow, which in the past it's had issues with. This time around, not so much. This was just a deck that I got on, and as I was telling TC and the rest of the guys I was riding with, I was like, this is really, really, really good. Like, this doesn't ride like any of the other Assassin Pros I've been on in the past. This stands out to me as a board that I could just ride it every day. I don't have to worry about it. Whether I'm hitting the park, I'm in the super pipe, I'm smashing some power, I'm just cruising the blues, making some soul turns. Did everything exceptionally well. Also, it's pretty lightweight. Might actually be one of the lightest boards on this list, which I don't really care too much about board weight, but for me to say something, it has to really stand out, and this board did. Number 3, the Jones Mountain Twin Pro. They've added Coroid into the tips, and that changes the swing weight on this board as well as how it dampens and how it rides. The Mountain Twin Pro have always been solid boards in my opinion, but this takes it to the next level by adding that Coroid in there, and just you can feel how this board reacts, how it does everything you need it to do. The edge hold is absolutely superb. If you only have one board, you like Jones, this would be it unless you're more free ride focused. Then you'd probably want to go to the Flagship or Flagship Pro. But for someone that just wants a deck that can kind of do it all, this is another great option. Hey, you, have you given this video a thumbs up? Good, do that. And if you haven't subscribed already, go down there, subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the programming we've got coming out for you. Number 2, the Battalion Beyond Metals. I loved this board last year when I got on it. TC got on it this year and was like, holy crap, that doesn't ride like a Battalion. Yeah, it does have 3BT, but it starts so far out at the contact points, you don't lose that edge bite. It just rides like a cambered snowboard with like a hull in the nose to help funnel slush and pow out. It's a board that has that freestyle flair to it, and you notice that because it's the Beyond Metals model and the Beyond Metals crew. This is their deck. It's just a good all-around board for doing everything. It is snappy and responsive when you first get on it, but it will break in. So at about the 25-30 day mark, expect it to get a little bit softer. You're going to notice that it won't have as much snap to it. Overall though, Surprisingly for having 3BT, it locked in on edge. Just a good board for what it truthfully is. And if you like Battalion, but you don't want an aggressive 3BT, this is one of the ones I would really be looking at. Honorable mentions, all great options, but just barely didn't crack the top 5 of this list. The Yes Typo. This thing is just consistent for all mountain freestyle use. You get a little bit of edge tech, you got some camber rocker in there, it's good snap, it's damp where it counts. The Ride Shadowban. I own one, so I'm a little biased, but TC and I kind of went back and forth when we were collaborating on this list, because yes, we do collaborate on all our top 5s. And he's like, I don't think it makes it in the top 5. And I was like, fair enough, we've got a lot of other boards. This was a stacked category. I think we had something like 35 decks to choose from. So for it to still make an honorable mention, it's good. It's got power on edge, you got good snap, you got those impact plates that help dampen underfoot. It's got camber with rocker in the nose and the tail with a little bit more in the nose, so it's gonna float okay. It's gonna press a little bit more out there. Like I said, it's my personal board that I've ridden for the last 2 years, so that should speak volumes about it. And finally, the last honorable mention is the Capita Mercury. And you're gonna understand when you see number 1 why this made it to honorable mentions. I was going back and forth. I love the Mercury. Like every time I get on it, I have a really good time. And this version with the purple base on it honestly felt like 2 versions ago where the edge hold was a little bit better. It wasn't as twitchy. This is just a deck you can put people on and send them out and they're gonna have fun with. If you are worried about it being a little bit twitchy, detune the edge a little bit and maybe tweak your stance just to kind of align it on those side cuts to where you flex it underfoot and torsionally and whatnot. And you shouldn't have a problem. Like I said, these were all great options, but just barely didn't crack the top 5 of this list. Like what we're doing over here? Want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. And the number 1 all-mountain freestyle board for 2025 is the Spring Break Resort Twin. This board's just too good. It's too good. It's a little bit wider, so it gives you a little bit more stability. You got that rocker in the tips, which makes it easy to press, and it still floats pretty well when you get into pout. Wouldn't be my first choice, but it will get the job done. The side cut's dialed. It's very snappy and responsive, so if you like hitting jumps or boosting side hits, you're not going to have a problem with it. Honestly, I keep looking at this board going, I should probably pick one up and make it my daily driver, and I don't know why I haven't yet. It's just that well-rounded. And when it comes down to me choosing between, like, say, the Capita Mercury or this board, if I had to choose, I'm probably going with this just a little bit more over the Mercury. Why? I like that added width underfoot. Just makes it a little more stable. This has been our top 5 list for all mountain freestyle boards of 2025. Believe me when I say this was stacked when we had to whittle it down to just 8 decks to mention to you. This is the most comprehensive list in snowboarding. These are the broadest selling boards in the broadest category. Anyways, if these aren't the boards for you, why don't you go check out one of our other top 5 so we can get you dialed in.